Good evening. What a lovely occasion. And so as I stand here and I look at the beautiful faces, I just can't help but to feel blessed to be able to participate on this opportunity and speak to you about heart health. February is not only the month of heart health, but also Black History Month. And I would like to share some fun facts. Did you know that today, on February 11th, the first African American woman flight attendant was hired in New York? I know, it's amazing. Also today, Nelson Mandela was released from prison, which was one of the events that led to the apartheid. And today, February 11th, Atlanta chapter of Black Nurses Rock make history with their first annual gala, Go Code Red. Woo! And now I would like to have a heart-to-heart about having a heart for each other. Heart health is not just physical fitness, nutrition, and rest. It's also our emotions. Weighing only 10 ounces, this heart can feel pain that mimics a heart attack when it's triggered by stress caused by our emotions. And I don't know about you, but I've noticed sometimes with some of us nurses, even though we're hired to be healers, we kind of cause a little bit of stress towards each other. Do any of you agree with me? So let me give you an example. When I was a new nurse and I had my first high acuity assignment, I was so ecstatic. I was just like, oh my gosh, this is the time I get to show my knowledge and my skills. And I got the assignment, reviewed the chart, and I couldn't help but to notice a few things. So then I went on to do my assessment like we always do. And I noticed that this patient was admitted because he has a stroke. He was morbidly obese. And as a result of that, he was immobile. And there was no documentation of a number 2. I was hoping I was going to do this before we ate. And he had no bowel sounds. So I brought it to the attention of my preceptor. And I said, something's not right here. He's eating, but I don't see any documentation of the output. So she actually made me go back and read about normal patterns and etc. And I'm like, clearly I know about it. That's why I brought it to your attention. She also went to the other nurses on the floor and just, wanted to check with them just to make sure the ones who cared for him earlier that week, that they didn't forget to document his patterns. Well, they ended up making fun of me. They ridiculed me, and they were like, oh, you new grad, you guys always expect everything to be just like the textbook. It's not like that. This is where real nursing is. I was like, okay. But it continued to bother me. So by the end of that shift, we were able to get an order for the doctor for him to have a laxative. I went home, replayed that event in my head, because by this time I was dealing with the stress of having a high acuity patient, a complex patient that I felt that I just was questioning about the care. I just wish there could have been a little bit more than just a laxative, and then I was dealing with the fact that I was made fun of by the other nurses. That was a Thursday night. Monday, when I returned to work, I found out that he had passed over the weekend. He was impacted and unfortunately aspirated on his stool and died. For the very thing that I brought to the attention of my preceptor, for the very thing that I was ridiculed by the other nurses on the floor. And I'm not saying I'm the best nurse. But we're all familiar with the expression that nurses eat their young. Amen. So reflecting on this situation, how do we come together as nurses to have a heart for each other? What do we need to do? So this is just a few tidbits. The first one is we need to be a little bit more open-minded to the curiosity of our new grads and be receptive for the concerns they come to us with fresh eyes. The second thing is that we need to show compassion and support for each other in education as well as promotion. And the third thing is for us to express gratitude for the nurse experts that help us so we can be better nurses. And as a result of having a heart for each other, we can improve on the care that is provided to our patients and their families, enhance the work morale, which will increase productivity, as well as have a comfortable work environment. And the third thing, as a result, is we can transform the health industry as healthcare leaders who have a heart for each other. And now for the takeaway. I'm going to need your guys' help with this. On your table, there are some cards, some playing cards and some pens. And we just want to make sure that you guys have those cards near you, and then I'll give you some instructions. All right. So for the first part, I would like for you to close your eyes. I need everyone to close their eyes. And I want you to reflect back to a time when another nurse made you feel low, where another nurse ridiculed you, or made it hard for you because you just got a new degree or you were just placed in a higher position. And I wanted you to think of a word that described how you felt when that happened. Okay? Now, I want you to think of a word that is completely opposite to how that nurse made you feel. So a positive one. So a synonym, something of how you would have liked to feel in that nurse's presence. And I want you to write that positive word down on the card. It's on the back of the card. Alrighty, if everyone could just look towards me when you're finished, that way I'll know that you're ready. And thank you for working with me with this activity. All right, so now that you have a positive word on that card, I want you to pass that card to the left of you. So the person to the left. Pass the card to the person to your left. Thank you so much for your cooperation. So you passed the cards towards your left. And that on that card was a word that describes how you would like to feel when you encounter with your colleague. And that sets the tone of having a heart for each other. Because what you're doing is, this is symbolic, you've been dealt cards that are positive for you to be positive to another person, another nurse. So you guys can be better caregivers for patients and their families, have better morale, and also be transformational leaders in healthcare. Thank you.